Welcome to Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans for the fans. And I am your host, Conrad Cushman, and we are here today to talk about WWE Crown Jewel and Lucha Underground's Ultima Lucha Cuatro. Welcome to another edition of the EPW podcast. EPW stands for Everything Pro Wrestling, guys, and we are here to talk about WWE Crown Jewel first. This event has had so much controversy surrounding it that if you want to listen to past episodes, I've talked about this already. But going into the show right now, it looks like John Cena and Daniel Bryan are off the card. They took a stand against performing at this event, supposedly, if you believe what all the dirt sheets are saying, and they do not want to attend this event. So this makes things very different. But if you look at it from a WWE point of view as well, it protects your top stars, and them not being over there protects WWE in a way too. So there's two ways to look at that. But enough about the whole Crown Jewel event and everything else, and let's get right into the preview and predictions for this show. All right, guys. Well, as you know, WWE Crown Jewel is happening on Friday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so hopefully everyone gets a chance to check it out. With that being said, let's get into this card. So there's been some changes made. So if you've seen previous cards, I'm recording this right now on Halloween at 2:35 p.m. So right now we have Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton in the World Cup quarterfinals. And that is going to be a tough match, but I went with Randy Orton for the victory. This is all due to the fact that last night on SmackDown, Shane McMahon brought up the fact that whoever makes it to the finals for SmackDown, he can't have them lose to a Raw person. So he put extra pressure on them by saying, if you lose to a Raw person in the finals, you are not welcomed here on SmackDown Live anymore. So it sounds like you're going to get fired if you don't win the World Cup. That seems odd because the other guys lost before you. So why would that happen? But whatever. So first match, we have Rey Mysterio versus Randy Orton. I have went with Randy Orton for the victory in that one. Just due to that storyline, I think you could tell more of a story with Randy Orton. Rey Mysterio is just getting back. And you could just tell a really cool story with Randy Orton eliminating anybody with a quick RKO. The next match we have is Jeff Hardy versus The Miz. I'm going to have to go with Jeff Hardy for the win here. Just due to the fact that I predicted Randy Orton for the first one. And I think Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton will meet in the semifinals. Once again, with Randy Orton picking up that victory, and he will be in the final match for the SmackDown brand. Now to the Raw side of things. We have Kurt Angle versus Dolph Ziggler. This will be a heck of a wrestling match, and I think a dream come true for Kurt Angle getting to wrestle some different guys on the roster, which I think is very cool. And if you didn't know, Dolph Ziggler was a collegiate wrestler at Kent State University, and him versus Kurt Angle should be really fun. But I predict Kurt Angle getting the victory here, and this will lead down more so with the feud of Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, and Drew basically saying he lost to a washed-up Kurt Angle. So I predict Kurt to get the victory here, and Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley. I'm going to go with Seth Rollins to pick up the victory. I think Bobby Lashley will lose by either DQ or some funky kind of way, maybe count out, due to not having Lio Rush by his side. I don't know if he's going to be there, but they haven't mentioned it either. So I have Seth Rollins and Kurt Angle in the semifinals for the World Cup, and I'm going to go with Seth Rollins to pick up the victory over Kurt, probably with a roll-up or something. And it'll be Seth Rollins versus Randy Orton in the finals, and I predict Seth Rollins will be your World Cup winner for this. We get on to the next match. For the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles, we will have The Bar versus New Day. Big shout out to New Day for having the Brood outfit on last night during SmackDown. Big E was Gangrel, Kofi was Christian, and Xavier Woods was Edge. Just awesome stuff. Those guys are funny, hilarious, and yeah, just love New Day. But not on this night. I am predicting the Bar to retain the tag titles due to some outside interference from Big Show, but I think the Bar will pick up the win here and retain. Next up, we have the WWE title match. We will have AJ Styles, the champion, defending against Samoa Joe. Now has replaced Daniel Bryan. If you saw SmackDown Live last night, AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan ended up having a quick match against each other, and it was pretty good for the most part. And Daniel Bryan ended up tapping out to AJ Styles. Awesome match. But there's no contender, so Samoa Joe is going to fill that void. I know a lot of people thought Samoa Joe was injured, but apparently he's not injured too bad to do this match. So who's going to win? Now, I want to see Samoa Joe as the champion, but I don't think we're going to see that happen for some odd reason. Samoa Joe has waited for a very, very long time to get his moment, but I don't think it's tonight. I think AJ Styles is holding this belt until almost WrestleMania now. I think they want him to break CM Punk's record, and I think Vince thinks the world of him. He just can't put him in that top spot because he's trying to spotlight the guys on the Raw brand. So for now, AJ Styles is my prediction to win. Match number 7, we have D-Generation X with Triple H and the returning Shawn Michaels, my favorite wrestler of all time. It's going to be weird to see HBK out there with no hair on his head, but they will be fighting the Brothers of Destruction, The Undertaker, and the Mayor of Knoxville, Kane. With all that being said, who wins this match? I'm going to go with the Brothers of Destruction. The Undertaker and Kane need a victory here. It's been quite some time since they've had one, and I feel that this could tell a greater story into if Shawn Michaels is going to wrestle again. If he's going to fight the Undertaker at Survivor Series, why not let these guys have a match like that? And you got to tell a story in this match to make it happen. So I'm predicting the Brothers of Destruction pick up the victory. And for the Universal Championship, we have Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar. This is a tough match to predict. The vacant Universal title's on the line here. You have two ways you can go about this. Do you want to see Brock Lesnar become the champion again and do the same thing he did previously? The only good thing out of that would be Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles in a potential rematch at Survivor Series. Meh. We also will have Braun Strowman finally getting his just due as Universal Champion, but I feel Braun has also lost some luster at the same time. With both of those options on the table, here's what I've decided. I think I'm going to go with Braun Strowman as the Universal Champion. He's Roman's friend. I think that Vince McMahon is a huge Braun Strowman guy, and I think we've already seen what Brock Lesnar is going to bring to the table. Let's see what Braun Strowman can do. Maybe he'll add some excitement to Monday Night Raw, and I hope that he can get in Vince's ear and make the show exciting every week. So Braun Strowman is my prediction to win the Universal Championship. Let me know down below who you guys have for predictions, whether you're listening to this on Wrestling Aminu in the Everything Pro Wrestling Facebook group or anywhere else where you can hear this podcast. Let me know your predictions for WWE Crown Jewel. Let's talk about some Lucha Underground. Tonight, guys, we have Ultima Lucha Cuatro, and this is a 2-part season finale that's going to be on at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight on the El Rey Network. It's going to be a 2-week extravaganza. Card has so many different kind of matches on it. Very cool. If you have not been watching Season 4, I recommend you go back and check all that out before you watch this. Our first match on the card, we will have the Trios Championship match, which is their 6-man tag belt. So in the elimination match, we will have the champions, the Reptile Tribe versus the Rabbit Tribe versus Ivelisse, Lishus, and Sammy Guevara. This is going to be a difficult match to predict here, but I'm going to go with the Rabbit Tribe for the victory. The Reptile Tribe have had a pretty hard Season 4 for themselves. Ivelisse and Lishus lost their original partner, Joey Ryan. He's been out ever since the Rabbit Tribe took him out. But I'm going to go with the Rabbit Tribe to pick up the victory here. Paul London has revamped his crew. El Bunny's also in here. And White Rabbit is absolutely amazing. That's Killer Cross if you haven't seen him in Impact Wrestling. I predict new champions out of this, though, and I think it's the Rabbit Tribe's time. I want to see more with what they can do with this group as far as storyline and writing goes. Our next match is Taya Mundo versus Ricky Mundo. Ricky Mundo, if you've watched Lucha Underground in the past, is basically Johnny Mundo, a.k.a. John Morrison's lackey. He wants to be just like the guy. He dresses like him, acts like him, but he's been shunned always by him and his crew. And Taya is also in charge of them, and Ricky Mundo ruined their wedding. He basically let the Monster Matans out, and he went crazy on everybody and ruined it. And Taya has vowed now to basically kick Ricky's ass. So in this, I am predicting that Taya gets her revenge on Ricky Mundo and picks up the victory here. Next match, we have a mask versus mask match. Son of Havoc versus Killshot. I am not sure why Killshot had the sudden change in heart. And if you remember last season, Killshot fought Dante Fox, and they had a crazy match, putting each other through glass and everything else. I don't know who is going to win this match, but I'm going to go with the prediction of Son of Havoc just because everybody knows who both these gentlemen are underneath their masks. And I don't know, man, this is going to be a really good match. I think they're going to show out and really deliver. Killshot and Son of Havoc are two of Lucha Underground's most underutilized players. So with that being said, I'm going to go with Son of Havoc for the victory for this one. Next up, we are going to have Dragon Azteca Jr. versus Fenix, 2 out of 3 falls. Not sure why it is 2 out of 3 falls, but this will be a really good match due to the athleticism of both competitors. In the end, I'm going to go with Dragon Azteca Jr. for the victory here. I do believe that something's going to happen with the Fenix character since he has become evil, I guess we'll say. And I think we're going to see some type of resurrection of his character. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but I'll be interested to see what happens with Melissa. And, well, hold on. That puts another dynamic onto this. Melissa is the ring announcer and Phoenix's girlfriend, and she's been trying to get him back, but I don't know if they can get him back. And you see how crazy I sound talking about this? This is what the show is like because, like I said, it's similar to a movie. You see all these special effects and dynamics with everything, and it makes it a very interesting watch. Dragon Azteca needs to win, but you know what? He did well all season. I'm changing my prediction right here on the show. I'm going to go with Phoenix instead, just because I forgot about the Melissa factor into this. So I'm going to go with that. She turns and helps Phoenix win because she's so in love with him. We have a death match. Mil Muertes versus the Mac. This should be a really good match. I predict another situation here where a lot of people have been written off the show, including Katrina. Katrina is a beautiful woman, if you do not know this, formerly in WWE as Maxine. But she's been written off the show because of Mil Muertes, and I think she will return to help the Mac pick up the victory here. And Mil Muertes will learn that there is nothing worse than a woman scorned. So I got the Mac winning this match. We also will have Sacrifice to the Gods, Johnny Mundo versus Matanza. Matanza has been running roughshod through the temple. I just don't see Matanza picking up the win here. But how does Johnny Mundo do it? He does have a whole crew that he could have help him out. In some way, some form, whether it's Johnny and Taya. I feel like Matanza's going to fall in this match. However they have to do it, they will. So my prediction is Johnny Mundo for the victory. And my prediction for Pentagon Dark versus Marty the Moth Martinez. We got a lot of different dynamics in this one. This is for the Lucha Underground Championship. If you are wondering who Marty the Moth Martinez is, go back to Tough Enough with Stone Cold Steve Austin and look for Martin. He is now Marty the Moth Martinez, an incredible performer, and he will be taking on former champion Pentagon Dark. I don't know how this match is going to end. There's a lot of dynamics here. We have Jake Strong, a.k.a. Jack Swagger. He has the Gift of the Gods Championship that he won last week, and he could cash in on anyone at any time. So does he wait? I don't think tonight's the night for him to cash in. With that being said, I think he'll tease it, but he won't do it. And I'm going to go with Pentagon Dark to regain the Lucha Underground title, because you can't have a Cierro Medro match without Pentagon Dark in it. So I am predicting him for the victory here tonight. This is a perfect night for wrestling. We have on Halloween night, I said, a trios title match, mask versus mask match, so many gimmick matches, death matches, and I think it fits perfectly with Lucha Underground's culture and the way that they want to be represented for their show. Last but not least, we have our EPW Q&A. Both of our questions come from Robert Anderson. His first question is, if you could assume creative control of one promotion starting tomorrow, which would it be and why? Well, Robert, my answer for that would be WWE, because they have such a variety of talent, and I feel like the company is not doing their best with everyone that they have. The reason I picked the WWE is because they are the biggest promotion that would give me the opportunity to make the most money. And I feel like I would have the most to work with, because there are so many talents that you can use, push, and put in a different direction and make them do more meaningful things, that I feel it would be best. His second question is favorite wrestling-related rap bar, and he uses one from Jizza from the Wu-Tang Clan. And Robert, I had to do some research for this, and there are so many good battle rap one-liners. I'm not going to use any of my own from when I used to rap, and that's a fun fact if a lot of you didn't know that. I used to rap, and I have a lot of wrestling references in my raps. But here we go. And it's going to come from WCW Mayhem the Music. The song is by the Rough Riders. You have Styles P, Jadakiss, Eve, and Drag On this one. And oddly enough, Drag On has my favorite line in it. And I'm going to start from this part of the song. Y'all know how Rough Riders ride. We always disqualified. I'm a total savage like Lex Luger. You'll get the total package. Straight power bomb like Kevin Nash and Sid Vicious. Small like Rey Mysterio. Put y'all in big ditches. I always just enjoyed that line. I always thought the song was pretty cool. I know 1999 was not the best year for WCW, but I always liked the Rough Rider song pay-per-view. So very cool. And Robert, I appreciate the interesting questions. If you guys have questions, make sure that you send them in to me, and I'll gladly answer them on the show. Thank you for listening to episode 29 of the Everything Pro Wrestling podcast. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans, for the fans. And without you guys, I don't have a show. So thank you very much for helping me out each and every week. Also, if you want to listen to the podcast on a different platform, here are the following platforms that we are on currently. We are on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Castbox, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, and Stitcher. We also have a YouTube channel that we are looking to gain more subscribers through, so if you guys could, search Everything Pro Wrestling and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Next up, make sure you give us a follow on Twitter at EPW Show. Come talk some pro wrestling with us. We always talk about Raw, SmackDown Live, NXT, Lucha Underground, whatever the show may be. Feel free to send us a message about it. We're always all ears. Thank you once again for listening to the Everything Pro Wrestling podcast. You guys make sure that you enjoy yourselves tonight, and you have a very happy Halloween.